Welcome to this class. So today we'll focus on planks. We'll do a variety of different planks and we'll have fun. There will be some planks on the forearms as well, so that we give your wrists a little break when they need it. So to get ready, if you'd like to play music, playlist number 12, you'll find the link in the video description, and let's get started on our backs. So before we do anything today, just take a moment to relax the whole body down. You know that it's going to be an active practice. You know that there is going to be so much time to move and possibly sweat a little bit. So really make the most out of this first minute where all there is to do is just lying down, allowing the body to be completely supported. The attention to just go on the breath. We use this time to connect to our body, to start to become aware of how the body feels today. Noticing if there are any areas that stand out, maybe because there are some sensations concentrated around that part of the body. Maybe there is a little bit of tension that we need to release. Whatever it is, just as if you were taking stock of what's present. Be aware and notice. Notice how the body feels. Knowing that you don't need to change anything. You're simply bringing that awareness to the body. Now, before we begin to move, shift your awareness to the breath and begin to consciously inhale and exhale. Keeping the mouth closed, we breathe through the nostrils. Let's take one last cycle of breath. One cycle is an inhale and an exhale. So at the end of your exhalation, let the eyes open and begin to awaken the body, moving fingers and toes, reach the arms overhead, and take a full body stretch. Just preparing for our practice. Circle through the wrists and circle the opposite way. And then as we release the full body stretch, bring your knees into the chest. And as you hug the knees in, gently rock side to side and see how this feels in your lower back. Let's release the feet down on the mat. Soles of the feet on the floor, knees bent, knees pointing up to the ceiling. And then for a moment, just release the arms down alongside the body. And notice how there is a little gap between your lower back and the mat. If you need to, just to feel it, you can take one hand and feel that little bit of space between your back and the mat. And then what I'd like you to do for this one is get rid of that space. So flatten your lower back. You're tucking your tailbone under. You're lifting your pubic bone. And your pubic bone is traveling up towards your ribs. Your ribs are traveling down towards your pubic bone. Now keep that, see if you can maintain the lower back flat on the floor, some engagement into the abdomen, and then lift the shins so that they're parallel to the floor and you're into a reverse tabletop. Now keep the tuck of the tailbone, keep the lower back flat, lift the arms up overhead. So take a breath here and maintaining the lower back flat. You should start to feel that even though You're just staying here in reverse tabletop. You're not doing anything. You can already feel the work in your center. So as you as you flatten your lower back, as you keep your belly pulled in, there is already some tension in your center, and you're keeping that. That's good tension. It's helping us to get stronger in our center. Now, from here, you want to keep that tension. If you don't keep it, you're just going to simply move your arms and legs and not really feel very much. So lower back into the ground, abdomen engaged. Take your right arm overhead and your left arm all the way towards the front of the mat, maintaining the rest of the body really still. And then come back to center and switch left arm overhead, right leg forwards. Your lower back is still imprinted into the ground. You bring it back tabletop. If you need to reset at any point, but feel that you're not just moving arm and leg, you're actually really working your center. So take a breath. Exhale, right arm, left leg. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, second side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, right arm, left leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, left arm, right leg. Back to center, inhale. Right arm, left leg, exhale. Make sure lower back is still flat. There is no space between you and the mat. Back to center. Exhale, left arm, right leg. Almost there. Just one last one on each side. Inhale. Right arm, left leg, exhale. I'm really feeling this. So inhale. If you're doing it right, if you're keeping your lower back down, you should really feel the work. Back to center. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Relax. Good. So now we'll do a combination of movements. So if you come back into soles of the feet on the floor, knees bent. And again, keep your lower back flat for this one. Arms up towards the ceiling, shins parallel to the ground. Now from here, keep your lower back in that same position on the floor, your center strong and stable. Open the arms out to the sides and at the same time open your knees out to the sides, trying to keep your hips still, your pelvis not rocking right or left, but staying at the center, and then bring it back to center. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. Lower back flat, center of the body still. Exhale, we open the legs and the arms. The knees are staying bent. We come back to center. Now combining the two movements. Inhale. Right arm back, left arm forwards on the exhale. Back to center, inhale. Left arm, right leg, exhale. Back to center, inhale. Open to the sides, exhale. Back to center, inhale. Your lower back is still flat. Exhale, right arm, left leg. Keep it stable, inhale. Nothing else moves, left arm, right leg. Back to center, inhale. Open to the sides, exhale. We have 3 more sets like this. Inhale, center. Exhale, right arm, left leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, left arm, right leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, open to the sides. Inhale, center. Exhale, right arm, left leg. I'm really burning in my center. I bet you are too. Inhale, center. Exhale, left arm, right leg. Almost there. Back to center, inhale. Open wide, exhale. One last one. If you move with precision, you really feel the work. Right arm, left leg. Inhale, center. Left arm, right leg. Back to center, inhale. Open wide, exhale. Back to center, inhale. Hug your knees and rest, exhale. Release the feet to the floor. And then just to give the front of the body a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of space, we're doing a couple of rounds of bridge. So arms down alongside the body, inhale, push with the feet, lengthen your tailbone between your knees, and as you lift, you're lifting your pelvis, you're opening up the front of your hips, you're giving your belly a little stretch, a little chance here to open and release the work it has done. Release down slowly. Take a breath. Exhale, lift back up, lengthening your tailbone between your thighs and towards your knees. Feel both feet anchored to the floor, pressing down strongly. Your glutes engaged. One last inhale. Exhale, slowly down and release. Bring your knees into the chest, hands behind the knees, rock yourself up and shift forwards into tabletop position. So from your tabletop position, send your right leg back behind you and then turn onto the sole of your right foot. You can take your left foot a little bit behind you for support. Right arm up towards the ceiling. Push the floor away with your bottom hand and lift up towards the ceiling with your top hand. Now from here, lift your right leg to parallel to the floor. Take a breath here. Complete exhalation. And then keep the leg where it is, but reach the right arm overhead. Imagine that you're into a long line from your right fingertips to your right foot, a long line parallel to the floor. Keep pushing the floor away with your bottom hand and lengthen through the spine. Hold it here, one more breath. Exhale, look down and release. Hand to the floor and knee to the floor. Same thing, second side. Extend your left leg. Turn onto the sole of your left foot. The right foot can go a little bit behind for a support. Left arm up to the ceiling. Left leg to parallel. Holding it here. Push the floor away. Lift the bottom side waist. One more inhale. Exhale, left arm up and overhead, lengthen. Reach away with your left fingertips. Reach away with your left heel and find space between the two. One more inhalation. Exhale, release down, hand to the mat, knee to the mat. Tuck the toes, lift the hips into downward facing dog. And spend a little time here into down dog, investigating how the body feels. Noticing if movement is necessary for you to create a little more space, a little more room to move freely. And then from your downward facing dog, if you are moving, settle back into stillness. On the inhale, come forwards into plank position, or first plank. Exhale, pike the hips, downward facing dog. Next time you come forwards into plank, drop the knees to the mat, bend the elbows, come all the way down. Lift the chest, cobra. Tuck the toes, downward dog. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale forwards. Exhale, knees down all the way to the mat. Shift the forearms forwards into Sphinx position. And then from Sphinx, interlace the fingers. Sides of your hands. So pinky finger side of the hand pressed into the mat. Forearms pressed into the mat. Push down with your hands and forearms and pull towards you. Send your chest forwards and find a little stretch of your abdomen. You might feel a little release from the work we've done earlier. A little back bend into the spine. The top of the skull reaches up to the ceiling. But the gaze is straight ahead. One more breath into Sphinx. On the exhale, lift your belly. Lift the front of the pelvis. Tucking your tailbone, lift the front of the thighs. Now push with the forearms into the floor. And imagine that now you're magnetizing your knees to your elbows. You're squeezing them closer together. Your body will probably start to shake, and that's fine. Slowly now release that. Drop the thighs, the front of the pelvis and the abdomen. Look forwards into Sphinx. Exhale, release to the mat. Hands under shoulders. Lift into cobra, inhale. Down dog, exhale. On your next inhale, come forwards into plank. Exhale, drop the knees, bend the elbows all the way down. One more time, shift forwards with your forearms. Sphinx pose. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, roll up, stay on your knees. Tuck your tailbone, and then from here, tuck the toes, lift the knees. And imagine that now you want to do the opposite to what we did earlier. You're stretching the mat. You're making it longer. With your forearms, you're pulling forwards. With your feet, you're pulling back. Just one last inhale, forearm plank. Exhale, drop the knees, drop the thighs, the pelvis, the belly. Open the chest, inhale, Sphinx. Exhale, release, hands under shoulders. Cobra, inhale. Child pose, exhale. A breath into a child pose. A complete exhalation. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And from here, one inhale. One exhale. Walk the hands all the way back to your feet. Soften the knees and stay into a standing forward fold. Relax the head, let it nod yes and no a few times, release it. And then from here, lift and lengthen halfway up. Exhale and fold all the way down. Inhale up to standing, reach up, lengthen. Exhale, Tadasana. A breath in, the arms overhead. A breath out, fold forwards and down. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Walk forwards into plank position and we hold. Our first plank hold, 5 breaths. For this first plank, let your tailbone lengthen between your heels. So don't think about tucking it, just think about keeping your spine in a neutral position. Just gently hug the front of the abdomen in and engage your glutes. Engage your inner legs as if you were squeezing a block between the 2 legs. So you should feel the front of your thighs engage, the front of your abdomen being pulled in, and the upper back broadening, the shoulder blades moving away from the spine. We'll give it one last inhale. As you exhale, either knees down or a chaturanga, you choose. Cobra or upward dog, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. A breath here into down dog. Exhale, knees to the ground, sit back, child's pose. Stay, one inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. A breath into down dog. Exhale, walk the hands all the way back, find your feet. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Fold completely, exhale. Up to standing, inhale, reach up, lift and lengthen. Exhale, Tadasana. A breath in, the arms overhead. A breath out to fold all the way. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Walk forwards into plank and hold. Again, as we settle into our plank hold, our tailbone is long between the heels. Our spine is neutral. We don't let the head collapse, but we think of keeping the head up in line with the rest of the spine. We're pressing the floor away with a lot of power, as if we were pushing something away. And we're creating that little space, that slight roundness of the upper back. At the same time, glutes on, front ribs in, one inhale. Exhale, knees down or chaturanga, you choose your vinyasa. Cobra or upward dog, inhale. Sit back, child's pose, exhale. Breath in. Down dog, a breath out. Full inhale, down dog. Complete exhale. This time, bend the knees and look forwards. Step or jump the feet between the hands. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Fold completely, exhale. Up to standing, inhale, lift and reach. Tadasana, exhale. A breath in, the arms overhead. A breath out, we fold forwards and down. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Take the hands to the mat and step back into plank. So this time from our plank, we're going to see if we can first settle into position. And then as we settle, we feel that spreading of the shoulder blades. And without moving anything else, we see if we can lift the right toes off the mat and point them back behind you. Now, if both legs are engaged, our pelvis is staying facing the ground. It doesn't twist. We continue to lengthen from the right big toe to the top of the skull. One inhale, both feet down, take your vinyasa, we meet in downward facing dog. Once you arrive in down dog, inhale, right leg to sky. Exhale, right foot forwards between the hands, left knee down. Low lunge, inhale. Hands to the mat, down dog, exhale. Stay for a breath. Complete exhalation. Inhale, come forwards, plank. Find your spread through the shoulder blades, the push of the hands, and then lift your left foot. Try not to change anything else at all. Hold it there, one inhale. Both feet down, choose your vinyasa. We meet in down dog. As you settle into down dog, take a breath in. Empty out, breathing out. Left leg up, inhale. Left foot forwards, exhale. Right knee down, low lunge, inhale. Hands to the mat, this time step forwards and fold, exhale. Lift and lengthen, pull your ribs forwards. Exhale and fold all the way down. Up to standing, inhale, lift and reach. Tadasana, exhale. Breath in, the arms up. Breath out, fold forwards and down. Pull the ribs forwards, lengthen. Hands to the mat, step back into plank. From your plank, find your forearm. Feel the engagement of your legs. Have your feet a little bit wider than usual, just for a little more stability. And then see if you can shift the body weight into your left hand a little more and come up on fingertips on your right hand. You can stay here or maybe now reach your right arm forwards. Reach it to the front of your mat. One last inhale. Both hands down, exhale. Drop the knees, bend the elbows all the way down. Cobra, inhale, open chest, shoulders down. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, right leg to sky. Exhale, right foot forwards, left knee down. Low lunge, inhale. Release the hands and interlace behind your back. Knuckles down, shoulder blades together. Stay for a breath. A long exhalation. Inhale, release the arms up to the sky. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay for a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Forwards into plank, inhale. Find your forearm, find your strength and stability. Shift the body weight into your right hand. Lift your left hand up on fingertips. Maybe feet a little wider. And then reach your left arm forward. Hold. Take a breath. Exhale, both hands down, knees down. Half chaturanga. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot forwards, right knee down. Low lunge, inhale. Release and interlace, exhale. Shoulders back and down. Knuckles down, front ribs in. On your next inhale, arms up. Hands frame the front foot, step forwards and fold. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Fold completely, exhale. Up to standing, inhale, lift and reach. Tadasana, exhale. A breath in, the arms up. A breath out, fold forwards and down. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Hands to the mat, step your feet back into your plank. And then from plank, we're going to make this plank longer. So take 2 big steps forwards, right hand, left hand forwards. Your feet may be a little back as well. And then squeeze your inner legs as if you had a block between them. And imagine you're making the mat longer. With your hands, you're reaching forwards. You're pulling the mat forwards. With your feet, you're pulling the mat back. Hold it there. Keep your spine long. Hold for 2. Hold for 1. Walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Knees down. Slowly lower. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. A breath here. A complete exhalation. Inhale, right leg to sky. Exhale, right foot forwards, left knee down. Lift the arms, inhale. Bend the elbows into cactus, exhale. Squeeze the back of the shoulders together, open the chest. Exhale, forearms together, palms face you. Inhale, back of shoulders together, open chest. Exhale, forearms together, palms face you. One last time, inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, elbows to the height of your chin. Open the chest, inhale. Hands to the mat, plank pose, exhale. Just like we did earlier, power up your legs and then 2 big steps forwards with the hands. Maybe a little step back with the feet as well. Glutes on, front ribs on. Hold it there, 3. Still breathing easily for 2. The longer you make this plank, the harder it is. So if it's too hard, you can make it a little shorter. And then let's all step back, plank pose. Knees down or chaturanga, you choose. Cobra or up dog. Down dog, exhale. A breath here. A complete exhalation. Left leg to sky, inhale. Left foot forwards, right knee down, exhale. Lift the upper body, inhale. Bend the elbows, cactus, exhale. Squeeze the shoulder blades, open chest. Forearms together, don't let the elbows to go too low. Inhale, open chest, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, forearms together, elbows together. Last one, inhale. Exhale, close. Open into cactus. Release the hands to the mat, step forwards and fold. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Fold completely, exhale. Up to standing, inhale. Tadasana, exhale. Now, feet hip distance, bend the knees deep into chair. Exhale and fold all the way. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Hands to the mat, step back into plank. And then from your plank, you're going to drop the forearms down into forearm plank. Just like we did at the start, interlace the fingers, press the forearms down, and think of pulling forwards with your forearms and with your hands, pulling back with your feet. Now, holding forearm plank this time, this round, just into stillness as we are. Think of spreading your upper back. Hold it here. Thigh muscles engaged, glutes engaged, front ribs in. One more breath, forearm plank. And then we drop into Sphinx. Drop the knees, the thighs, the pelvis, the belly. Open the chest, Sphinx pose. With the hands now, pull back towards your chest. And with your chest, move forwards towards your hands. On your next exhale, release all the way. Hands under shoulders, cobra. Sit back, child's pose. A breath for child's pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. On the inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right foot forwards, high lunge. Ground the feet, lift the upper body. Hands to the mat, step back into plank. Drop the forearms to the mat. Interlace the fingers. Make sure your elbows don't go too wide. Again, for now, we're keeping it still. We're keeping it just in our normal forearm plank. Hold and spread your upper back. As if you wanted to lift the space between the shoulder blades towards the ceiling, the chest away from the mat. Hold and breathe for another 2. Inhaling 1. Exhale, knees down. Drop the thighs, pelvis and abdomen. Sphinx. Pull back with your hands. Forwards with the chest, shoulders down. Exhale, release. Hands under shoulders. Cobra, inhale. Child's pose, exhale. And breath into child's pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot forwards. Ground the feet. Inhale, upper body lifts. Exhale, hands to the mat, step forwards and fold. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Fold completely, exhale. Up to standing, inhale, lift and reach. Tadasana, exhale. Bend the knees, Utkatasana. Imagine your knees are pressing slightly out, as if you had a resistance band to the top of your knees and you are pressing out into that resistance band. So they're not actually changing position, but they're slightly pressing out energetically. One last inhale. Fold completely, exhale. Lift and lengthen, inhale. Hands to the mat, step back into plank and hold. Drop onto the forearms, forearm plank. And then from your forearm plank, we'll do 5 rounds of active plank. So from here, starting in forearm plank, you bring your knees, you bring your feet together, and then you're going to drop the knees to the mat, keeping the rest of the body still, and then lift back up. Upper body doesn't move, we just drop the knees and touch the mat, and then lift back up. We'll do 3 more. Try not to move anything above your hips, just the knees drop. Last 2. For 1. And back into plank. This time drop the knees and drop the thighs, the pelvis, the belly, sphinx. Exhale, release to the ground, hands under shoulders. Cobra, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right foot forwards. Turn and ground your back foot, windmill the arms into warrior 2. Holding a warrior 2, take a breath. A complete exhalation. Gaze over your right middle finger, steady the breath. On your next exhale, drop your right forearm to the right thigh. Press the thigh away, lift the neck, lift the right ear away from the right shoulder, and then lengthen the left arm up and overhead. Holding here, deep bend into the right knee, and that same sense of pressing the right knee slightly out, even though it doesn't actually go out. You're just turning on your glutes a little more as you press out. 1, inhale. Exhale, release the hands and step back into plank. Hold plank, inhale. Forearm plank, exhale. 5 more times into our active plank. Bring your feet together. Push the floor away with the forearms, inhale. Drop the knees, not changing anything else, exhale. Back up, inhale. Knees down, exhale. 3. And down. 2. And down. Careful that your belly doesn't flop, your hips don't drop. Last one. Plank. This time drop the knees, drop the thighs, the pelvis, the belly. Inhale, sphinx. Exhale to the ground. Hands under shoulders, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left leg up, inhale. Left foot forwards, turn and ground your back foot. Come up into warrior 2. Left middle finger is your gaze point. Steady the breathing, steady the mind. Next time you exhale, drop the forearm onto the thigh. Right arm up and overhead. Keep space between the ear and the shoulders. One more inhale, side angle pose. Exhale, look down and release. Hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Take a breath into down dog. A complete exhalation. Bend the knees and look forwards. Step or hop to the front of the mat. Lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale and fold all the way. Inhale up to standing, reach up and lift. Exhale, Tadasana. Bend the knees into Utkatasana. Hold Utkatasana. Remember that sensation of having a resistance band to the top of the knees and pressing slightly out. Keep that. Inhale. Fold. Exhale. Lift and lengthen. Inhale. Hands to the mat. Step back into plank. Exhale. Drop the forearms down, but this time don't interlace the fingers. Keep your forearms parallel to each other and your feet about as wide as your hips. Now, lengthen your spine. Hold it. And then we're going to drop both heels to the right. So one foot is in front of the other. We lift the left arm up towards the ceiling and we push the floor away with the right forearm, lifting the right side hip and waist as high as we can off the mat. One inhale, back into forearm plank, exhale. Stay, inhale, drop the heels to the left, right arm lifts, bottom side waist as high off the floor as you can, hold it. Exhale, back into forearm plank, inhale, drop the knees, thighs, pelvis and belly, open the chest, sphinx. Exhale to the mat, release. Hands under shoulders, cobra. Down dog, exhale. Breathing in the right leg to the sky. Breathing out the right foot forwards between the hands. Turn and ground your left heel, lift into warrior two. Steady gaze, steady breathing. As you stay in warrior two, can you still feel that connection to your center? We've worked the front of our abdomen quite a bit. We started to work the sides of our abdomen as well. So can you feel that the front and the sides of your center are strong and active? Maybe some sensations concentrate around there. Feeling the residue of what we've done so far. Last inhalation. Forearm onto the thigh, side angle, exhale. We'll work into a balance in a moment. So prepare by taking your left hand to your left hip, the gaze down to your right foot, and then shorten the distance between the feet. Now see if you can keep the hand off the floor. I like to keep the hand on the right shin and then shift into half moon pose. Your chest, your hips are opening to the left. We can continue to gaze down. That's going to make a difference, a massive difference to the balance. If we look down, it's more stable. We have more control of that balance. Just one last inhale, lifting the left leg nice and high. And then bend your right knee, come back into your warrior two. Hold it. Windmill the arms and step back. Downward facing dog. One inhale, down dog. One exhale, down dog. Forwards into plank, inhale. Drop the forearms and keep the forearms parallel one to the other. The feet about hip distance. Drop both heels to the right, side plank. Pushing the floor away with all of your power on your right hand, forearm and shoulder. Lift to the sky with your top hand. And then from here, reach the left arm up and overhead, reaching towards the front of your mat. Hold it there. And then look down and reset forearm plank. Switch sides, both knees, both heels over to the left. Right arm lifts. Left forearm pushes the floor away. We lift the bottom side waist as high as it can go. And then that right arm up and overhead, lengthen. Reach away with your right fingers. Hold it. You can do it. One last breath. Exhale, both forearms down, knees down. Drop the thighs, the pelvis, the belly. Open the chest, sphinx. Exhale, release down. Hands under shoulders, cobra. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left foot forwards, turn and ground your right heel, warrior two. Hold it, inhale. Steady breathing, steady gaze, exhale. One last inhalation. Drop the left forearm to the left thigh, right arm up and over, side angle. Prepare for half moon. Right hand to the right hip. We look down at the left foot. We shift the right foot closer to the left foot. Left hand to the shin. As we continue to gaze down, we lift the right leg high. We keep the right hand to the right hip. We feel those right side glutes engage as we lift the leg high. One last inhale. And then bend your standing leg and slowly step it back. Warrior two. Hold. Inhale. Windmill the arms and step back into down dog. Exhale. A breath for down dog. A complete exhalation. One last round of planks, and we're going to work with one leg and one foot off, one foot and one hand off the floor. So forwards into plank. Stable into your plank, push the floor away. Lift your right toes, point them back. Come up on fingertips on your left hand and see if you can stretch your left hand to the front of your mat, even just for a breath. Press the floor away with the hand that's on the mat. Keep your abdomen drawn in, the whole body engaged, and then release down, plank. Down dog, exhale. Let's try on the second side. Forwards into plank. The left toes lift. The abdomen is drawn in, right hand on fingertips. From the earth, see if you can take the right hand away, stretch it forwards as the toes stretch back. Trying to keep the weight balanced between right side, left side. One last inhale. Hand down, foot down, down dog, exhale. Take a breath. Drop the knees, child's pose, exhale. Release your hands back to your heels, relax the shoulders. And then we'll work into one more variation of plank, but this time it's a reverse plank. So lift head and chest up, shift the legs forwards, and first we'll do a reverse tabletop, and then we'll work into reverse plank if you choose to do that. Hands behind you, have your fingers pointing out to the sides of your mat. And then from here, push with the hands, push with the feet, your knees are bent. And we're going to lift the pelvis so it's ideally the same height as your knees and the same height of your shoulders. Push the floor away, continue to lift by squeezing your bum, keeping your legs engaged, your feet strongly pressed down. Hold for 3. Reverse tabletop for 2. Inhale for 1. Exhale, release down. Option to repeat this. Option to now straighten the legs for a reverse plank. If you go for straight legs, feet together, take a breath in. Push down with the feet, push down with the hands, lift the pelvis. Toes towards the front of your mat. Legs and glutes active, we hold. 3. Squeeze your bum. 2. And slowly down, release. As you release down, you're going to lift the spine, lift the arms. And on the exhale, fold over the legs, Paschimottanasana. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale and fold. Gently lift yourself back and roll onto your back. As you come down onto your back, bend the knees, soles of the feet on the floor. Press the feet down, inhale. Lift into bridge, exhale. Interlace the fingers, shuffle the shoulders underneath. And then lift even more. Puff your chest, lift your belly, lift your hips, and push with the feet. Holding bridge to find space in the front of the body. On your next exhale, release the interlace of the hands. Slowly roll the spine down. Little by little, coming to the floor. And pause. Pause as you arrive down. If you're someone who can go up into wheel pose easily, You might choose to do your next back bend as a wheel. If you stick to bridge, just the same as we've done now, repeat it one more time. So, breath in, breath out, we're up into our second and final back bend. Think of giving the front body loads of space, an opportunity to stretch and open, while the back body engages and is strong to lift us up. Now, in your next exhale, slowly you'll start to make your way down. And once you're all the way down, bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop to the sides. The arms relaxed alongside the body. And we've spent quite some time engaging the front of the belly, pulling the ribs in, doing all of that great stuff. But what we also want to make sure we do is now relax those muscles that have worked. So we've taken some time to stretch them out. Now what I'd like you to do is to really feel like your belly lets go of any unnecessary tension. So begin to bring your breath into the belly. Inhaling, belly rises. Exhaling, belly drops. 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 Close the knees. Bring the knees up into your chest. Give them a little squeeze and they'll rock side to side. And then release the feet back down on the mat. But now cross your right leg on top of your left leg and shift your pelvis a little bit to the right. Now drop the knees to the left and look over your right shoulder, finding a little stretch through the outside of the right hip and glutes. Twist through the spine. And an opportunity to start to move into softness, into relaxation. Gently begin to come back to center. Uncross the legs, recross them the opposite way, shifting the pelvis a little bit to the left before dropping the knees to the right. The head turns over to the left shoulder, and we stay. Begin to now come back to center, uncross the legs, and settle for a couple of minutes of stillness into Shavasana, relaxing the whole body down. Soft and easy breathing. The breath comes and goes. There is no need to control it, no need to force it to be any different than it is. As we stay for just a little longer, notice how it feels to have arrived into stillness, to release that strong, full practice that we've done. And now to let go of that effort, just looking for comfort. Now take a slightly deeper breath in, a slightly longer breath out. Begin to welcome some movement back in, moving hands and feet, reach the arms overhead. Take a full body stretch. Then hug the knees into the chest, gently rock side to side. Roll over onto your right side and gently lift yourself back into a seated position. Bring the hands together in prayer to close the practice. On the inhale, the prayer up to the sky, down to the earth as we exhale. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice and to practice with me as well today. So I hope you enjoyed the practice. If you have, please leave a thumbs up to this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And if you have any comments, feel free to write in the chat or leave me a comment at the bottom of the video if you're watching this later. And I just want to remind you that I do classes on Zoom, so you can find all the information on my website. And you can join my Zoom classes as a one-off, as a drop-in class, so there is no commitment. You can just choose to do one and see how you find it. It's a great thing for me to actually see you so that I can help you in your practice and I can tailor the class to what I see and to who's taking part. So other than that, I also want to let you know about my retreat, which I am running in September, at the end of September in Tuscany. And again, you can find all the information about the retreat on my website under the section Retreats. So let me know if you have any questions, and if not, have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you again next week.